Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, bootlickers, shills, debt slaves, serfs, peasants, vassals, minions, meat sacks, and all my new trolls out there. I've really enjoyed our time this week. So anyway, welcome. I'm Useful Idiot, and here we have another piece of the puzzle of this unfolding drama going on in Iraq and the events that also involve Kurdistan. And now it involves Turkey. And Turkey has been against Kurdish independence for quite some time. It's very complex, and I've covered that in other videos. But they have a lot of unrest in their Kurdish region, and they've been fighting with the Kurds in Turkey for the better part of 100 years. And so anyway, they haven't been that interested in Kurdish independence thus far. And at one point, they even threatened to invade if Kurdistan had declared independence. But things changed quickly. And something that a lot of people didn't see coming or suggested would never happen seems to be unfolding. And what we have is a spokesman for Turkey's ruling party recently told Kurdish media outlet that the Kurds in Iraq have the right to self-determination. So this is a huge historic step, because one of the biggest impediments for Kurdistan declaring independence was the resistance from Turkey. And the United States mostly supported the policy of not supporting Kurdistan in deference to Turkey. But I still proffer, and I've discussed this in other videos as well, that there's a lot of interesting machinations behind the scenes, and there's a lot of different people who I think have interest in perhaps a independent Kurdistan being created. And let's not forget the U.S. plans that we've seen documented over the last 20 years that seem to hint at the idea that a independent Kurdistan would be in the works. So let's get back to what's been said. The exact quote is quote, "The Kurds of Iraq can decide for themselves the name and type of entity they are living in. The Kurds, like any other nation, will have the right to decide their fate. Turkey has been supporting the Kurdistan region till now and will continue to support," unquote. So pretty clear message, refers to them as a nation, like any other nation, and that they can decide their own fate, and that they can choose a name and a type of entity. And that spells it out pretty clearly that they are in support of independence. And this comes from someone that serves as a government spokesman, and therefore one can put a certain amount of credence that apparently this is where the government is heading. We might find out in the next few days that maybe he doesn't represent necessarily the views of the government, but seem pretty flamboyant to go out and make the statement if you didn't have the authority to do so. And the way he put it was very carefully chosen, so there's a lot of credence to be put to this. And the Kurdistan, of course, has been effectively autonomous since 1991, but so they've had 20 plus years to build up this state and build up this infrastructure and prepare for the next step. And in fact, this relationship with Turkey changed recently, because Turkey recently signed a 50-year energy deal with Kurdistan, and that's one of the things that caused a lot of friction between Baghdad and Kurdistan, was these oil deals, these independent oil deals, because by Iraqi constitution, Iraq should be controlling all their own oil and have say over what oil goes through Kurdistan. And now we have a pipeline and Kurdish oil making it to Turkey, and the latest round of Kurdish oil is being shipped through Turkey as we speak. And but this 50-year energy deal is a big deal, and this is what changed the quotient. And this makes total sense, because they're not naive in Kurdistan, as they've shown on many occasions. So what are the reasons why we have Turkey perhaps changing their tune And one reason is because we're going to have if Kurdistan is created, it will be a nice bulwark against some of the other violence that's unfolding in those regions, and perhaps give them a buffer from terrorism, which is ironic considering that the Kurds were what the Turks considered terrorism for the last 100 years, and now they will have replaced the Kurds with some the new terrorists, the Al-Qaeda and the ISIS. And I think probably there's a hope that a lot of the more militant Kurds in Turkey that give the Turkish government grief there may perhaps gravitate to Kurdistan in northern Iraq if it declares independence and just move home, as they say. Although it still could be in the cards where certain concessions might be made by Turkey to facilitate a Kurdish state. And as I point out, this new oil relationship changes everything. And then, as I pointed out in a previous video, 70% of foreign investment in Kurdistan is from Turkey. So Turkey has a lot invested there. I understand they actually have some troops there, although certainly not needed for any reason, for security reasons. And this also may confirm what was speculated before, that that there was a secret agreement between the Turkish government and Kurdistan that the Turks would support independence in order to set up this oil deal in the first place. And that certainly makes sense of how things work in the real world. And with all this new land that Kurdistan has taken in Iraq, including the Kirkuk region, the Kurds could end up being a oil giant. And I'm sure that has a lot of appeal to a lot of big players. So I want to finish with the quote that puts this all in perspective and shows that the Kurds understand exactly how the real world works. Another Kurdish government figure said, quote, "Oil has become an important political card in the region and the whole world. Oil is key to Kurdistan's economic importance, which will lead to political independence." And that pretty much says it all. And that's pretty much what makes this story happen. And the reason why we have, after all these years, 100 years, we have Turkey in favor of perhaps a free Kurdistan. And then another reason why we know that an independent Kurdistan is a good idea is because Lindsey Graham thinks it's a bad idea. And for me, that confirms that it's got to be a great idea. I'm a useful idiot. Don't you be one too.